What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Release Valve. You got Sean Hanlon and Kyle Spain back in the building. Welcome back, Senor España.
Thank you, sir. Welcome back to yourself.
It feels good, man. It feels good. I was excited. The juices were already flowing. It was about an hour before, and I got not nervous, but like excited. My heart rate went up a little bit, and I was like looking at the time like every 5 minutes. Yes. It feels good, man. It's been too long.
Been too long, man, and it was definitely needed. It was one of those days, man, where it was like, okay, it's a little bit of a frustrating day, and I know I'm about to hit the release valve. It took a little bit to get here, but it was almost like the gym, right? You know, I was like, I know I'm going to feel better after this, so let me just try and get here so I can feel better. And sure enough, before we even hit record, it was just like, my brain knew what was going on, and it was like, okay, relax a little bit, you know, hit that release valve, man.
It literally, the build up to it is always, like frantic. And, but man, as soon as, like you said, as soon as we sat down, threw the headphones on, pulled the mic over, and I was like, yes,
sir.
Here we go.
I'm trying to get my. All right. So yeah, man. What do we have today? What do we have for the people today? It's back. I mean, you know, every day is a battle out there. You know, it just can as we continue to grow ourselves, to grow our mindset. You know, there's always you know, we're never staying the same, right? We're always in constant motion, whether we like it or not. So we might as well do our best to continue to grow. Growth lifestyle is a word that I came up with earlier. I know we talk about growth mindset, but I think lifestyle is important because it has everything to do with the way that we're living, habits, and the actions that are aligned with those habits, and those habits being the creation of our reality. And I think that that's something that I just had a breakthrough with not too long ago, because what we believe in is essentially a reflection of how we feel on the inside, or our reality is a reflection about what we believe in for ourselves, what we believe in, statements, comments, quotes, whatever it is. You know, you can believe in whatever it is that you want to believe in, whether it's true or not. And I think that's a lot of where we find our downfalls, and, you know, and find ourselves in a lot of doubt and fear and all that other stuff, just because it's just a lot of commotion, a lot of lies, a lot of, you know, misrepresentation of what we're meant to do on this earth. But, you know, back at it again, feel good to be on here, to hit that release valve and talk about these type of things, so we can continue to grow ourselves and to help everyone else out there that's essentially living in the matrix, man. You know, it's hard, as we've talked about before, to deprogram the experiences and everything that we've been taught as we've been growing up. And the cycle continues, you know, with our parents and their parents before them, you know, having that realization of the fact that we are so capable of being so much more than we give ourselves credit for. So it feels absolutely amazing. And I haven't said that to get on here and to continue to break bread and to bounce ideas off each other and to connect, to make an impact. As we've talked about before, the connection is ultimately what we were meant to be doing. And it's like you said before too, right? If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, then you got to have a team. You got to have somebody rocking with you.
Right. 100%, man. You know, well, I love the saying, you know, you're a product of your environment, but you have control over your environment. You know, you control what content you consume. You control the quality of the conversations that you're having, you know, and I feel like a lot of people with the internet and stuff like that, social media, they choose, whether they realize it or not, subconsciously, you're choosing to receive negative. You're choosing to, watch all of the uproar that's going on around, whatever, fill in the blank, right? Whether it's politics or, whatever the case is, man, just consuming negative content, and then how that has a negative effect on us, right? But you can also choose to be inspired, follow people that motivate you, consume the content that makes you want to get up and do something with yourself. I know for myself, I used to love watching. I didn't realize it and look at it that way at the time, but I would love watching like conflict. I would love watching, fights, like not like professional fights, like street fights and stuff like that. I would love watching body cam arrest videos. Police officers getting into it with somebody and stuff like that. Like just not even realizing, because I thought it was entertaining, but not realizing the negative effect that it was having on me. The unconscious stress that it was putting me through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now, and so I just stopped following a bunch of accounts, stuff like that. I stopped, I had to actively change my algorithm on Instagram or YouTube and stuff like that, in order to, start watching things that motivate me, things that I'm looking to pursue in life. So that's how, started following people like Jay Shetty, Mel Robbins, Andrew Huberman. I've been following Joe Rogan for a while, but even with him, I pick and choose what he puts out there, what I actually consume, if it's based off of, what I'm looking to pursue. So, right now I'm, the last time that we were on here with Eric, right? Shout out to Eric Franks. And, one of the things that we discussed was, we kind of made a pact with each other to take the next step, raise our game up a little bit in whatever it is that we were looking to do. For him, it was, he had a big move going on at the time or coming up.
Yeah.
And so he was looking to get established at a new gym, whether he would get into coaching or training to compete again, whatever that was, he was going to take that next step. For you, you have basketball and fitness stuff going on. You were looking to take that next step. And one of the things that I said for myself was I wanted to get established at a gym too, start training and working out. Since then, I've gotten into kickboxing and karate. Shout out to NCK Bellingham. So a lot of the content that I consume has to do with those type of things, has to do with martial arts, learning different techniques, different disciplines. I got big into stretching. I downloaded this app called Bend, and it allows you to focus on different parts of your body that you want to work on and stretch and stuff like that. So I've been doing a lot of hip stretches because that's my weak point. It's rough. I'm 39 going on 79 like in my legs.
Yeah, I'm right there
my
with
hips.
You, bro.
So, I'm doing stuff like that, man. I'm focusing on the things that are going to help me in those areas. That's the type of content that I'm consuming. Different people that motivate me in that regard. And then also, obviously, podcasting. Eventually, I would love to get into public speaking. So I'm watching videos on that, so stuff like that. That's what I'm choosing to put my energy, my effort, and my thought process towards, is focusing on those things.
I think that's extremely important, man. And that goes back to, talking about the habits. Content consumption is extremely important as well, because I think that a lot of it is we're oblivious to what is actually happening in those moments of that content consumption, depending on, not depending on what it is, but no matter what it is, it's going to generate a certain thought cycle. We often when we're listening to things, when we're watching things, and music is easy, right? If you're angry, right? Say we were back in the day in high school, you about to go get into a fight, right? What are you bumping? What's in your headphones, right? You got some rowdy
No,
music.
if
It's
you
going to be some,
buck. No,
right?
if you buck.
Right, exactly, right. If we're talking about like some bedroom music, right? We're gonna be listening to something more sensual, something more soft, something in the
Right.
mood, because it generates a certain thought cycle. And so it goes with everything that we're consuming, right? Everything that we're watching. We've talked about this before, and what I love about truth is that you hear the same things happen, or you hear the same quotes or the same comments or statements come up all the time. And when you hear it once, twice, or three times, then there's got to be some truth behind it, cliches or whatever you want to call it. And a lot of us have been tricked into thinking that life is coming to us, or that we're about to get saved, and we've been duped in so many different ways. And I want to piggyback what you were talking about as far as getting into martial arts. That's something that you want to do, and so you took action on that, right? It's something that you have to actually be in order to become. And I feel like a lot of us, including myself, fail to realize that I believe that success is not to say that it's easy, but it's more simple than we're making it to be. And it's really just I've read a quote actually, and it was like the difference between now and your dreams is the bridge of action, or action is the bridge between now and your future self. And I honestly believe that, because it really just takes those reps of doing whatever it is that you're doing to be whatever it is that you're being. And for me, take for an example, I feel like I started wearing hats faithfully, like, I don't know, 5 to 7 years, but before, I wasn't the guy who wore a hat, right? And so now you can identify me as the tall guy that wears a hat all the time. It's because it's just something that you do. It just becomes a part of you.
Right.
And I think that's important for all of us to understand. I also feel like we get so caught up in self pressure, or giving ourselves so much pressure to be successful. And we've talked about that B through Y, right? We're always aiming to make strides and big leaps to get to that Z, not understanding that it's a process, and within that process it takes time. And
Right.
so depending on our circumstances, I think that the success of our dreams can be accomplished so much easier if we just kind of take the foot off the brake and allow ourselves just to be in the moments, getting those reps in, and stop putting so much pressure on ourselves to be at Z.
Right.
Comparing our day ones to someone's day 150. I think we often forget the fact that everyone has a day one.
Right.
What do they look like at day one, and accepting your day one for what it is and where you're at, and just continuing to build from that standpoint.
Right, 100%, man. You're so right. The comparison game that we play with other people, right? We look at what somebody else has going on. Yeah, it's their day 150, but you didn't see 1 through 149.
Exactly.
Right. So you come in, even though it's your day one, it's their 150. So you can't compare where you're at to where they're at. And even if it is somebody else's day one, that's going to be different. We've all experienced different things in our lives that led to the point that we're at now. Right. So, we have to stop playing that comparison game with other people and just focus on ourselves and what we can control within ourselves. And, again, that was something I talked about it with the episode with Mindy, who's one of the co-owners and instructors at NCK Bellingham. Her and her husband run it. Her husband was not constantly like he was, harping on me or anything, but, here and there, he would kind of make a little comment or ask that little question, like, when are you, jumping off the bench and getting in the game?
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I didn't realize with myself at the time, but almost the more that he brought it up, the more it kind of made me realize that I was sitting back waiting for that perfect feeling, that perfect moment without taking any action to get me there. And so that was one of the things that I was saying. It was like, I'm never going to be in the shape that I want to be in, that I'll feel good about going into it, because I'm not doing anything with it. I'm working out at the house, but it's a different type of workout. You know what I mean? The only way that I'm going to get into the position that I want to be in is if I start taking that action. And so that's what it was, man. I started taking the action. I stopped even comparing myself to where I was at 20 years ago when I first got into martial arts, right?
Yeah.
Because I haven't done anything since then.
Yeah.
So, that was one of the things. I was like, man, I know, I would do little things here and there around the house, and I'm like, that's not as good as it used to be. You know what I mean? I'm not kicking the same. I'm not punching the same or anything like that. And it was like, well, yeah, man, you haven't done anything in 20 years, so it shouldn't be the same. The only way that I'm going to get to where I need to be is by taking action. So that's what I started doing, man. We made that pact on that episode with Eric, and I had to immediately take action from there, because I know me. If I didn't jump on it immediately when I had that thought, something was going to come up, something was going to distract me, and it was going to prevent me from being able to take that first step forward. And the longer that you go from when you have that thought, the longer you go without taking action, the harder it is to take that action.
Yeah.
So the more that you're going to think about it, the more that negative voice in the back of your mind is going to make its way to the front of your mind, and it's going to be loud, and it's going to come up with all the reasons, or really excuses, on why you can't do whatever it is that you're looking to do. So I didn't think too much about it. I hit them up immediately, sent them an email like, all right, what does it look like for me to start taking the classes? And their response was, just show up. We'll take it from there. We'll go from there, type of thing. And I've been going I haven't missed a class yet. So
man, that's so good. And because you're not the only one, bro. You're not the one. I mean, there's a 1% and a 5% for a reason, right? There's so many people that talk themselves out of doing whatever it is that they want to do. And it's like the program we've talked about. We're just like, man, nah. Well, like even with the ring light, getting on here, it's like, I don't have a ring light. It's like, it might be a little dark. Might not be able to do it.
Don't have the ring light. Can't do it.
Yeah, right. And so, and that's just one little example. But we get too caught up again, and that's another reflection of wanting to be successful overnight. And so, we want everything to be perfect, but we don't know what perfect looks like until we actually try.
Because we're comparing it to somebody else's perfect.
Exactly. And so the start now is so important, and it's so cliche, because it took me a while to actually get to that point to where it's like, if you don't start now, your day 150 is going to be day 300 if you would have started 150 days ago.
Right.
Because every process has a learning curve. Once you get into something, there has to be some trial and error, some messing around, some putting other pieces together and taking them off again. You have to figure out how the process works in order to get to the next level. As you go, and there's no getting to level 2 without getting to level 1.
Right.
You gotta figure out the buttons. We're talking about video games. You're just starting a new game. You got to figure out what the buttons are before you start. You can't get to boss 3. You can't get to the end of the game. If we're talking about Zelda, you can't get to Ganondorf without fighting all the other dudes.
You gotta
first.
get this sword. You gotta get this armor. You gotta grow up. There's so many aspects to that game. Yeah, man, you're right. And again, that's why the concept of B through Y is so important, because it's so easy to be at A, looking at Z, and getting upset because you're not there. Well, yeah, because you got to get to B first. You got to get to C after that, and so on and so forth. You have to take those steps in order to get to where you're looking to go. And by the time you get there, it's not going to look the way that it did when you were at A. And that's what I think a lot of people get hung up on is as they start taking steps, things start changing and the vision starts getting a little bit different. You start seeing different aspects of it that you weren't seeing when you were at A. And again, that can get overwhelming for some people. Like, oh man, I didn't realize that I was going to be having to deal with this, that, and the other thing. It's like, well, yeah, figure it out as you go. Don't let that stop you. Be encouraged by it. Be motivated by it. And again, you're gaining experience. I was just talking to Mindy about this, that failure, and we've talked about this on here before too, failure and success is not the destination. It's just milestones.
There is no
every
destination.
single situation that you find yourself in, every little hiccup, every little speed bump, every little mountain is an opportunity to gain experience and knowledge and apply that going forward. And that's how we have to start looking at it.
Absolutely. And again, another example or reflection of that B through Y, or wanting to be at Z without going through the rest. Because, I almost lost my train of thought. Hold on. My kids were making some noise back there. Dang, I lost my train of thought. I wanted to go back to, it's that movement it goes back to that thought we were talking about the other day, the last post, or the last episode we did. Hopefully I can regain my train of thought. But that movement creating momentum, that has been huge for me these past couple of weeks. And just doing a little bit of something will create a little snowball effect, and it'll allow that next step to open up. It allows that next step to open up.
Right.
And I wrote down experience, and it sparked a thought as far as, judgment. We as humans are quick to judge people on what we think how they should have handled certain situations. We watch stuff on Instagram and he's like, oh man, that's easy. Like, oh man, I could have done that.
Right.
But then you haven't had that experience, so you don't even know what it's like to have done that. And it's like you were saying, is like you get into these moments when you start something and it's like, now you got to figure this out. Now I got to figure that out. And then we get discouraged at some of the things that we didn't realize that we had to get figured out. We get discouraged and we end up quitting. And I think I might be coming up on my train of thought again, but just lost it again. That's crazy.
No, you're right, man. And I think anybody that watches sports, any kind of sport, has experienced that too. Sitting on the couch and being like, oh man, you should have done this, you should have done that. Why didn't you, see that punch coming? Why didn't you cross left instead of going right? Why didn't you, see that block? I would have done this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's so easy when you're looking at it from the camera,
right,
looking down on it, that vantage point, right? But you're not in the heat of that moment. You're not in the middle of a fight having somebody punch at you while you're trying to punch at them. You're not in the heat of the game trying to go around a screen. You know what I mean? Like, fill in the blank on what it is. You don't have that experience, like you said, in order to respond the way that you feel like somebody should have responded in that situation. Being outside of the box is so easy. It is so easy to not be in the heat of the fire and be able to tell somebody what they should have done in that situation when you've never been in that situation before. So exactly. You're 100% right, man.
So back to wanting to be at Z, as far as trusting the process. You said there's no destination, or you said it's not the destination, it's a milestone. And I truly believe that there is no destination. I believe that we want to be at a certain milestone. But if you think about a milestone in a timeline, you have to start with day one, right? You have to start with the very beginning in order to achieve certain milestones. And again, I think we get too caught up on the destination of wanting to be where we want to be. And I was actually, because I'm in financial services, utilizing my life insurance license, and there was this lady that was on there. She was a guest speaker, doing very well for herself, and she was talking about her mentors and everybody up, her higher ups that were kind of bringing her up to the level that she wanted to be. And she said something really powerful, man, and it stuck with me. And she talks about how the person that we want to be isn't the person that we are now. The people that we see in our dreams, whatever it is, if you're a basketball player, painter, trying to be financially free, whatever the case is, want to be in shape, though the person we see in our dreams possess or utilize a certain set of habits that we aren't accustomed to yet.
Right.
And so it's the B through Y that we have to go through those milestones in order to become that person that thinks differently, that behaves differently. And again, our current reality is the result of our habits on a daily basis, whatever that is. And so we have to be aware and identify what those habits are, identify the habits that we have to adopt in order to become the person that we see in our dreams, and be aware of the now habits that are creating our reality as we speak.
Right.
And she's like, I had to be real with myself. She was like, if I was already that person, I'd be a millionaire already. You know what I mean? I'd be making X amount of dollars per month, this, and that. And so again, back to these habits, I think that, like I said, success isn't easy because we have a lot of hardships that, the obstacles that we have to go through. But I think that it's a lot more simple than we make it. Fear and doubt are the number one factors of dream killers.
100%, man.
And if we could just really just trust the process, then I believe a lot more of us would be successful. But with trust comes belief. And if we don't believe we're capable of being successful in that process, we're going to quit, when things start getting hard.
Right. 100%. I just heard this thing that was talking about, the key to the power of manifestation is, like you just said, belief. You have to believe that you deserve whatever it is that you're looking to achieve or what you're looking to gain. A lot of people operate under fear. They're afraid that what if, like we talked about before, what if it doesn't work out? What if I try and I fail? What if I make things worse, or whatever it is? You have to truly believe that you are, one, capable, and two, deserve whatever it is that you're looking to go after. You, like, with every fiber of your being. And again, that comes back to self-talk too. A lot of people have very negative self-talk. A lot of people will come up with those excuses as to why they can't, achieve whatever it is that they're looking to go after. We use them as excuses, or we use them as reasons, but really they're just excuses. Yeah, you have, X, Y, and Z going on, right? You have a bad job, you have a bad relationship, you have, whatever, fill in the blank. And so that's the reason why you can't get up off the couch to go do the thing. Well, what if you're, not what if, you're also somebody that can accomplish and achieve those things in spite of those things that are holding you back or preventing you from what you feel is preventing you from being able to get after it. You can go out there and achieve these things, get after these goals, accomplish these goals, and some, even with all of the things that you have going on. It's just a change of the mindset. I'm a strong, capable human being that is more powerful than I give myself credit for. I can get this done. It's going to be hard. And that's the thing, is a lot of people, they're afraid of hard. They're afraid of challenge because it's uncomfortable. Where they're living at right now, it's the devil that they know, right? it's uncomfortable, but I'm familiar with this level of discomfort. Whereas if you're going out there and getting after it, you don't know what's going to happen. That's nerve wracking. That makes you feel anxious. It's like, well, use that. Because
Yes.
I just saw this quote the other day. I think it was from Lewis. What is it, Lewis Howes or Lewis Howes? He was saying, if you think what was it? If you think it's expensive to go after your dreams, what do you think it's going to cost to not go after them, or something
Yeah,
along
that
those
bill
lines,
of
right?
right, right. The bill of regret.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so again, coming back to the what if versus the now I know. Now I know that I'm capable. Now I know what it takes. Now I know what I need to get better at. Now I know what I need to apply going forward. Now I know I need help. Whatever it is, fill in that blank, as opposed to sitting back and saying, oh, my life could have been better if I did this, or if I didn't have that going on, or whatever the case is. Just take action, whatever it is, and you're going to be that much further and better off than you were if you just did nothing.
Action over doubt, bro. And I'm still working on, fully adopting that into, into my system. Because, excuse me, doubt is going to creep into your mind
Always.
always, man. And it's really a debilitating concept, when the doubt, because that's where your belief is. It's like now you start questioning yourself. And
Right.
once the disbelief sets in, man, we talk about words and energy and what self-talk, and it all goes the same. Principles, as we talked about before, you're able to apply principles in almost in any arena. It's just being consciously aware of what arena you're in and what principle to use in that arena. And so when you think about disbelief, it's discouraging. And how do you feel when you're discouraged? Down and low energy. So disbelief lowers your energy. And I was listening to something. Dang, they said, I think it was Will Smith. A couple of people have said it, and he said, whether you believe it, whatever you believe, if you believe that you can,
Or you can't.
or you
You're
can't,
right.
you're right.
I think Confucius says that. That's where he
Bro,
got it from. Something
it's
like that.
it's the craziest thing, man, because belief is the foundation for all success, or
Yeah.
for all misery and discouragement.
We're all failure. Right.
For all failure. Failure to take action is failure. Because ultimately we'll never get to the other side.
Right.
It requires action. It's, oh man, I had this thought the other day, and it's like you have a thought, right? And you want pizza. This might be a bad analogy. Like you got the Pizza Hut down the street, and say the Pizza Hut is the dream, right? The pizza is the dream, right? You have to get up, grab your keys, open up the door, get in your car, drive over to the Pizza Hut, but the Pizza Hut is there, so you go and take the necessary steps to get there. Obviously, Pizza Hut is the destination. You grab the pizza. There's no possible way for you. There's no possible way, and let's throw out delivery and Uber and all that. The only way you can get to the Pizza Hut is by either walking or driving. You can't get it delivered to you.
Right.
And so the dream is Pizza Hut, and we believe that we're not gonna be able to get there.
What if
right?
there's
And
traffic? What if the roads are closed? What if they're closed? What if I forget my wallet? All these what ifs, right?
all of those same things, and so we fail to take action. And I believe, honestly, bro, that our dreams are that simple. Now, obviously, we're in different circumstances in our lives, whether we have kids, jobs, and all kinds of other things, other factors, other things that factor into our circumstances that don't allow us to get to the dream as quickly as possible. But I at this point, bro, I don't believe in I can't. I believe in ultimately executing a certain set of habits over and over and over again until it becomes a part of you, and at that point, that's who you end up becoming. You know,
Yep.
and I had a huge lesson learned these past couple of days, and as you know, I took most recently stepped into my basketball coach role, coaching my son. And last game, you know, he's kind of been timid, or resistant in like trying to be aggressive and make shots. He's like, he gets a little startled, when the defender kind of like hops on him. He was just like, oh man, just, and kind of just throws it up. And I told him, I'm your dad. I was like, and I'm the coach. I was like, I'm telling you to go make mistakes. I'm telling you to do it. And I've told you this before, often, when I'm giving my son a life lesson, I often reflect on myself about, how God feels about me, or how would I feel in that situation? Where have I done some of the same? And I realized that with, this podcast thing, worried about what people are going to think, worried about what people are going to say, because he's scared to make a mistake of what his teammates might think, or what the assistant coach might say, right? And I'm like, it's on me. I'm like, why are you caring about what other people are saying when I'm dad, right? And it just hit me, like, because me, I'm a very spiritual person. God is the father for me, and I thought about the same thing for myself. I was like, wow, like, I was scared to get on here and do my little, speak my words, share my thoughts out of fear of what people might think.
Right.
And it really hit me in a different way, bro. I was just like, oh my goodness. And like I said, principles that are, applicable in different arenas.
Yeah.
I've played basketball, and I got to a level of basketball to where I understand, what this looks like. So it's like, go and do it. But in his mind, it's like, I've got this going on. I've got this going in my mind. Like, and this goes for all of us out there, right? It's like God is telling us to be who He made us to be, but we've got the fear of this person. Well, we got the fear of rejection, and it's like,
Right.
what if I can't? What are they gonna say if I mess up? Or like, what's gonna happen? And there's all these what ifs that go on, and it's just like, nah, like, go do it. It's inside of you to do it for a reason. And
Right.
He wants to play basketball. He wants to be an NBA star, and that's on him. I mean, I was like, I've told him over and over and over again, it's up to you. What do you want to do? But, you got to do it. But we all have something that we want to be. We're podcasters, right? We're motivational speakers. We all want to be motivational speakers, but there's also some fears that we have to overcome with being those motivational speakers.
Right.
And, I gotta, what's the word? The saying, I gotta, will it take my own medicine? I can't remember what it is. I gotta take a dose of my own medicine,
Yeah.
and really be active in everything that I'm trying to pursue, and not understanding what it's just a matter of reps. It's just a matter of reps and formatting our habits that are in line with our dreams. Because honestly, bro, that's it, man. That's
Yeah.
it. It's just really just taking action and repping it over and over and over again. And
Yeah, the same thing that you told your son, man. You get the ball, he gets in your face, just do something.
Do
and you'll
something.
figure out. As
You
you
figure
go,
out
you'll
the next
figure out.
step.
Yeah, exactly. You'll figure out the next step. And it's going to be different every single time you get into that situation. You look at this one situation and it goes bad, and then you're chalking up every situation that's similar to it going forward as that negative outcome that happened that one time. Again, failure and success is not the destination. It's an opportunity to take that experience that you've learned and apply that knowledge going forward. And we can continue to do that literally for the rest of our lives. That never has to stop.
It can't stop.
Truly being a student of life, not just of the game, not just of a situation, a job, fill in the blank, but in all aspects of life. Again, that's the difference between the what if and the now I know. is constantly looking to learn something from a situation, and like I said, apply that going forward. I love it, man. And again, it's so easy for us to say that to other people. Again, being outside of the box looking in, it's so easy to say this is how you should be doing this. But unless you're in that situation, you're the one that has to deal with it. But if you're not dealing with it, that's a problem in and of itself. Yeah. So the only thing that we can say outside of the box, looking into that person, is just keep trying. Just keep doing something. Keep, like you said, keep taking action, and you'll figure out the rest as you go along. And just continue to do that, man. Because again, the analysis paralysis, we sit back and we overthink about the situation to the point that, we're paralyzed. We're too scared. Oh, man.
Was a master.
I've spent so much of my life doing the same thing, and I still have moments of doing that, But
of course.
I think it's so healthy, again, to like we keep on saying, have these type of conversations that keeps that type of thought process in the forefront of your mind. The more that you do that, the easier it'll get to kind of harness that thought process or that way of thinking into, again, apply that going forward. And the more you do that, the more that becomes that habit, that reprogramming, like you said. Mm-hmm. And so then that's when you're looking at all these different situations and responding in that way is, again, you gotta open yourself up to being vulnerable. Like KJ said on the episode that we had with him, shout out to Kevin Johnson, I'm not afraid to be the fool. I'm not afraid to not know what it is, but I'm willing to learn. And that's huge.
Absolutely. And I want to piggyback that, instead of being judgmental of somebody's situation, try and learn. Use that opportunity to try and understand what that person is going through.
Right.
And that's another thing that I'm trying to be better at is empathy, because I'm not as empathetic as I want to be. I think that being empathetic, it eliminates that judgment, that opinion, and allows you to try and experience what it's like to be in those situations. And I think that's important because it almost provides a different type of experience. Trying to immerse yourself in somebody else's situation, really trying to understand what it's like to be in that. There's always, like you said, there's always room, for learning. There's no destination. And I wanted to talk about real quick before we get off, why money and materialistics, aren't everything, and why purpose and milestones are what's most, attractive. Because it's like winning a championship, right? In any sport, World Series, doesn't matter what it is, cup. You win the championship, and it's like, you won it.
Now
you get
what?
Those accolades. But after you celebrate the win for a couple of days, and then it's over. What's next? Like you said,
right.
What's next now? What do we do now? And that's why materialistics, when people buy so many, will keep on buying, they shop, they get that high, and then it's old news. It's just like Christmas time with the kids. It's like they get these toys and they're playing with these toys for the first however long. A couple of weeks later,
they're already done with them.
They're already done with them.
Yep.
And it's like, what's next? What's next? That's why it's not the destination. There is no destination. Myron Golden calls it, there's no there. He said there's no there. Basically, there's no destination. There's just milestones. What can we do next, to achieve that next goal? What can we do next, to get that next rush? Because, we're built on self-accomplishment, self-achievement. And ultimately, that's what we need to be focused on, is trying to overcome ourselves. Because ultimately, I've realized that's where the best feelings come from is overcoming hard challenges.
Yeah,
we get the most juice from doing that, bro.
Again, it's falling in love with the journey. It's more fun to chase than it is to catch, right?
Yeah.
So once we realize that, we'll
That's
enjoy
heavy.
that process more. You know what I mean? I remember as a kid talking about, Christmas and stuff. I couldn't wait until Christmas Day. All of the other stuff was just like, when is Christmas going to get here? When is it going to get here type of thing. And then, like you said, the day comes and then it's over and you're like, oh, that was it? Like, I can't believe it's over type of thing.
Right.
But now that I'm older, Christmas is a season to me. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I love as soon as, I'm the type of person, I know there's a lot of people, as soon as Halloween's over, they're like, all right, Christmas time type of thing. I love going through, I got to get past Thanksgiving for me. I got to get past Thanksgiving. And not because of the Hallmark holiday of it. I have my own personal reasons as to why I love Thanksgiving. But, once I get past that, then it's like, all right, Christmas season has started. And now I make that mental switch and I enjoy everything about it, man. I love the build up to it. I love decorating. I love the atmosphere that comes with it. You know what I mean? I love watching all the movies, and that carries over even after Christmas up until, maybe New Year's and maybe a little bit after that. You know what I mean? Probably about New Year's, because then my mindset switches to something else. And then it's like goal time. It's time to go after these next goals and these next milestones that I'm trying to achieve. But, again, as you get older, I think you need to have that intentional thinking, the intentional thought process around things, and really breaking down, what things mean to you, what you're really gaining and what you're getting from these type of things. And yeah, I enjoy the process way more now than I used to. It was all about the destination for me before. And then, as we were just saying, once you get to that point, it's like, all right, now what? What do I do now? You don't have that letdown anymore if you stop focusing on that and you focus on the journey. Focus on the B through Y, the different steps that you got to take. And then once you get to that milestone, all right, what's next? What's the next thing I can focus on? What's the next thing I can get excited about? And then focus on the process to get to that too. You know what I mean?
That.
So again, man, I had something else that I was going to bring back around to it, but I lost my train of thought too. But being a student of life and enjoying that process, not shying away from not knowing everything, and allow yourself, again, like I said, to be vulnerable, to understand that you're not going to have it all figured out, but not allowing that to prevent you from taking those steps that you need to take, taking some sort of action and figuring out the rest as you go along. That's the journey. And that's the process that we really need to, one, understand, and two, embrace and not shy away from it. Because again, that's where that lack of action comes in, and then that's your life right there, is sitting back and watching all of these things go by. Like we talked about Happy Island, you're watching the cruise ships go by, Unhappy Island, you're watching all the cruise ships go by, and you're sitting there like, oh, it must be nice. It's like, well, hop on that little boat that you got right there, row on over to that cruise ship, wave them down, climb aboard, and now you're on the cruise ship. You know what I mean? But nobody wants to row.
Exactly, and it's that really just piggyback, what we were talking about as far as bridging the gap between A and Z. It's a step. If we're talking about a bridge, you know what I'm saying, like the Billy Goat Bridge to get to the other side, or onward, right, to get to the other side, you have to take the step. You can't stand there and expect the other side to come to you. It just doesn't work like that.
Right.
I loved your analogy with the Christmas, man. Enjoying the whole process of it, man, because ultimately that's what it is. Because then you've sacrificed the whole season just for that one day, and now it's gone.
Right. That's like, nah, man. I just had over a month of joy and fulfillment. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't all about that one day anymore. Yeah. So again, man, got to take action. Stop feeling sorry for ourselves. Stop counting all the negatives that we have going on that are hindering us from being able to take some sort of action. Get up off the couch and just do something, anything. And
Something.
it doesn't have to be perfect. You got to stop waiting for the right weather. You got to stop waiting for the right amount of money. You got to stop waiting for, somebody to notice you or whatever the case is, and just do something for yourself. That's what's going to get you noticed. That's what's going to get you further ahead. That's what's going to help you in all aspects of life. And once you start doing that with one thing, you'll start seeing that you're able to do that with a lot of other things in life too. And again, no matter if you reach that destination, that quote unquote destination that you saw, being at A, looking at Z, I'd rather be at L and not being able to get to Z than still being at A, because L is a lot further than A.
Yeah.
I'm in a different place now. I love what's the saying? Oh man, no man ever steps into the same river twice no man steps into the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man. But you got to step into the river. You know what I mean? You got to do something. You got to take action and realize that just by taking action is already making you a better person.
Absolutely. Identify the habits that are in alignment with your dreams. And a lot of it's going to be principle, and just take action on adopting those habits little by little, day by day, and not putting pressure on yourself to be successful tomorrow, because it's not going to work like that. And we all know, bro, that the path is narrow. There's no easy there's just no easy route to your destination, to your dreams, because the enemy's out there trying to throw you off from your promise anyways. And that's the other thing. It's a test along the way. I mean, I love Zelda. Back to the Zelda. I've got stuck on parts of Zelda for days. You know what I mean? There's certain games where you get stuck, and it's like you either quit playing the game or you figure out the solution, and eventually you end up figuring it out, and now you're on to the next step, and certain steps are going to be easier than others. And so again, it's cliche, and I understand it on a different level, on a deeper level, but we got to trust the process more. Stop putting pressure on ourselves again to be so successful so soon, and just enjoy the process. And Chris Williamson, he said it best. He's like, it's better anyways to have small little wins, because he talks about how he hit 1 million views, and we're constantly trying to top ourselves, right? We're constantly trying to be better than what we were. So once we hit an achievement, it's not going to feel as good if we don't hit that achievement again or better. And in fact, if we don't hit that achievement, it just kind of leaves us with a sense of discouragement.
Right.
So those small incremental wins is more important than that big win, because now you got to go get big win after big win after big win.
Right.
And it can be a discouraging process living like that.
100%, man. So we're always going to have something that we feel is holding us back. We're always going to have something that we feel is preventing us from doing whatever it is that we're looking to do, achieve whatever it is that we're looking to achieve. We can't get hung up on those things, man. Realize, again, failure is not a destination. It's just an opportunity to apply that experience and that knowledge going forward. Maybe applying it to something else, something different.
Yeah.
The difference between what if and now I know. We just got to continue to take action and not allow those things to stop us. And, I tried. That was it. It's like, nah, you can keep going. You know what I mean? You can keep going. You can keep hammering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Cam Hanes. There's always something that you can do, man. There's always some sort of action that you can take. You got to keep hammering, keep going. And again, L is a lot further than A. Even if you never make it to Z in that one thing, you're still taking action. You're still a lot further than you would have been. You're that much better of a person because of it. So just keep going.
Yes, sir.
So, man, I love this. I love coming on here, releasing, you know what I mean, what we have going on, our thought processes, our feelings. It's been too long. We can't go this long again without jumping on here. So for those that are listening, help us out in that regard. Hit us up if you want to come on here and release with us. shoot the shit, talk about something in particular, or just come on and release whatever it is that you got going on the inside, man. Because again, you're going to feel that much better. You're going to be thought provoked. You're going to be able to release from the mental warfares, and you're just going to feel good. So let's keep it going, keep it growing.
And even if not just coming on here, I mean, let us know, what you guys want to talk about. Let us know about some topics that we can cover. We're here to connect with you so you guys can release as well, because there's no other feeling like it, man. There's no other feeling like it.
It's the best, man. Oh, I appreciate you, bro.
Likewise, brother.
I appreciate everything that we're working on, and I'm looking forward to our continued success.
Hey, this is a success right here. Each rep is a success.
That's it. I appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see you next time.